Alright, meaty muchachas. Welcome back to Mepper. This thing's almost done. And I can finally end this on the other machine. Which, by the way, is a 17-inch 2007 MacBook Air. This is a, MacBook Pro. And this is a late 2013 MacBook Pro. 13-inch, the ones with the Iris graphics. So not the crap graphics. I mean, they're crap these days, but Iris was actually pretty good, and still kind of is for integrated graphics. They're kind of equivalent to the modern UHD graphics. Well, modern as in like 6 years ago. All right, come on. Less than a minute. I need that to be 0. My dad's watching lock-picking wiener in the background. And Ryan showed me the video that he showcased his King Dick in. So that was pretty great. Pretty great. Come on. So close. Let's use the zoom. So close. Hey, it just wienered. We'll re-wiener. Okay. Now this is going to be booting off of the drive that's in that computer. So hopefully it doesn't screw up because of that. Well, I found an OS. As you can see with that. There we go. Now it's loading the wiener. Come on. You can really see how yellow that screen is compared to this one. Like, actually, you can ever so slightly tell, but you can still tell that that one's much yellower. Yellorium. Come on. Anyone in there? This is taking forever. This is probably done, actually, but I'm just making sure that it's done. It doesn't have another stage to the installation. If this goes to the setup, yeah, it's in the setup. So I'm probably gonna shut this machine down, and then I'll start that machine up with this OS. So let's do that. Let's close this. Unplug these things. I need to get the Ethernet, plug it into this hole, and then get this out of the way. Okay. Let's get this out of the way. Let's move the camera back to the other one. Here we are. I have to move this up a tiny bit. Yeah. Ow! That hurt my soul hole. Okay, there we go. Let us do this. This machine has been cooking itself as it's been sitting here, so I'm kind of afraid for it. But let's do this, shall we? We have to boot it into the correct one. You know, that bong actually sounds much older than I thought it would. Maybe the boot ROM or the EFI or whatever hasn't been updated on this machine, which would be pretty cool because I don't think I have really any machines that goes for. Like the bong is what I remember from, you know, well, not when this thing was new, but a couple of years after it was new. It's just a different bong. It's a slightly different bong, slightly more muddy, and that's how I remember it. But these days the bong is much different, but even on like older machines like this one from 2013, the bong is still sounds more modern than this does. And that's not just because of the speakers, because the speakers aren't that bad. All right, so let's set this thing up. US keyboard. Let's not transfer anything. I'm not going to sign in. Really wish it just skipped it instead of asking me if I wanted to skip it. All right, now. Okay. Let's just put this in there, and then tweet here, and then the bird's name. Okay, now continue. I should have taken a picture. Damn it. Maybe I can go back. Hopefully I can go back. Oh, I can't go back. Damn it. That's so dumb. Can you just skip this? Like, come on. Why do I want to register? All right. Let's get this all situated here. Oh, I used the wrong one of those. Okay. Come on. There we go. Let's position this camera in a way where I can zoom in on the screen. Whoops. There we go. Okay. That's still kind of crooked. There we go. Whoops, nope. Okay, that's gonna have to work. So, we are now in 10.9, and this looks awesome on the screen, even though it also kind of doesn't. Alright, well, let's turn off Bluetooth because we don't need that. We don't need anything but Ethernet. Let's get... I forget what I... Oh yeah, I needed to get... I need to get 10.11 on this because that's the latest it can run. So let's go on to my network server and grab that. It's going to be in here. Network Extreme. Might not be able to load this particular thing. Just the list of files is huge. So it's going to be in Nitor. And let's see. Let me make this focus even more. There we go. Whoop, that's a bad idea. Holy crap. All right. Archive programs, I think it's in. Yeah, this is really not a very clicky trackpad. All right, now let's sort by size. Oops. Sort by size. Adobe installers. Okay, so it doesn't look like it's in here. Unless it's down here. Yeah, and there's no tool that can just grab it for me, at least as far as I know. So I'm gonna have to go back. Maybe it's in useful programs. It might be, honestly. Hang on, let me change some of the power settings and some of the trackpad settings because they're not very good out of the box. For me, anyway. Let's do that. Yes. Do that. No. Displays. No, don't automatically do anything. Yep. 1920 by 1200. Trackpad. What I want to do is disable that. Tracking speed, let's put it to that. No. For secondary clicks, yeah, okay. Clicking. Okay, there we go. Now, that works. Alright, so we're going to sort by size. We're going to see if it's in here. OS X installs. Perfect, that's what I was looking for. There's Mavericks. I'm going to do 10.11. That's what I need. So let's grab that. Let's put it on the desktop. I'm not exactly sure what this has in it. I think what this has is a I think this has a an installer, a package that opens an installer, and that package just puts an installer application, like install Mac OS X El Capitan .app into the applications folder, and that's all it does. Just shuffles around the data. It's weird. Doesn't just install anything. But anyway, I'm also gonna grab. Oh crap! Why is this doing that? Please don't say it's gonna do that for everything. Okay, good. What I really need, what I want to do to make this stop cooking itself is max fan control. Max, whoop, Jesus. 10.13, let's sort by name this time. Hey. God damn it, where's my scroll bar? Okay, I guess I don't need it. Let's grab this, which is max fan control for 10.7. This is 10.9, but it'll probably work anyway. Alright, there we go. Let's move this to applications, which I usually have down here. So let's do that. Let's move that to applications. And now we can... What? That was weird. Okay. I don't want that on my desktop. What the hell? Okay. Whoop. Come on. Alright, there we go. Now we can max out the fans. Yes. Oh no, I can click the trackpad from here. Can't I? Yeah, I can. Oh my god. Something's like stuck in one of the fans. Okay, well y'all are gonna have to deal with that. CPU diode, that's what I want. Or maybe I want the 8600M. I don't know. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Which one of them is doing this? It's the left side, okay. What if I do that? Okay. It's not doing the weird thing anymore, so it looks like that's good. I should just repaste every one of these because they're getting so hot because they're not dissipating the heat properly. Oh, and the duct tape fell off due to the heat. It's coming apart because it's getting so hot. The duct tape's coming off, so that's a shame. Let's try to remedy that quickly. Yeah, there's no way that's staying on. Yeah, it's definitely lipped. All right. Oh, you can see it's scanning. Probably because it's such an old, large panel. All right. Is there air coming out of that? Yes, there is. Not much, but there is. I hadn't quite figured out how to cool computers by this time. Alright. Well, this is almost done. Although it's 1 a.m., so I'm probably going to have to resume this likely sometime in a couple days, because tomorrow's actually my birthday, my 23rd birthday, so I'm not going to be in the house for very long tomorrow, so this is probably going to have to wait. Which is kind of a shame because I wanted to get this done. But let's just get the process started. I'll just leave it doing it overnight. Hopefully it doesn't cook itself. Oh man, why doesn't that work? That sucks. Going to bed already?
You're going to be in the house more than 12 hours.
Well, yeah, but unconscious. Can this open?
It's today.
Thank you.
Happy birthday.
Yay.
in 7.5 hours, you're going to be squeezed out.
Yum.
23 years ago.
Really hope this works. Okay. That's going to take 7 megabytes of space, more like 7 gigabytes, because it's copying the entire thing into the applications folder, not moving it. So 7 megabytes is a freaking lie. I'm not sure why it would ever say that. That's really dumb. Yeah, this machine gets really hot. These MacBook Pros, they just get so hot. And you really need these utilities like max fan control. You really need these to keep these from cooking themselves. At least in the past 10 years since I've owned them. I didn't own one when they were new, so I don't know if this is just a thermal issue. I mean, we all know from that machine that it suffered from thermal issues. That were completely resolved when I just changed the thermal paste, but my dad wants me to close the freaking huge ass doors we have that are not letting the bugs in but letting the air in, and also letting the hot air out. That's him trying to save money on the air conditioning that we would otherwise be doing or wanting to be doing. Yeah, let's connect to the Wi-Fi network. Why not? Oh, I actually don't want to show the password. That's why not. Well, let's change some of these settings while we're here. Hopefully they'll carry on into the new OS. Let's do sidebar. I don't want that there. Do want that, and then these. And then I want those. I do not want recent tags. Advanced. I do want all file extensions, and I only want to search the current folder. Okay. And yeah, if any of you were doubting me when I said that it's literally just copying the contents of the package to the applications folder into the actual installer we'll have to run in a minute, this should ease you. Well, I'll just do all processes and update often. Yeah, it's writing, or it's reading almost as much, but it's reading twice as much as it's writing, which is kind of weird. Not really sure why it's doing that. That's kind of bizarre. Whoa, that fan is not happy. But it's doing the do. It's doing what it must do, my friend. And I'm very glad I put an SSD in here, because if this was a hard drive, it would be thrashing as much as it possibly could and taking probably 10 times as long as this. That was actually pretty quick. Okay, that was not quick, but that was okay. Now, let's eject Nitor. Eject install Mac OS sex, and let's make this machine run a remotely 2016 remotely modern OS, which looks almost exactly like what we have now. All right, let's install it. And this is so I can test at least some taste of modern software on this machine from 19 years ago, is that right? Yeah, it must be 19 years ago, because 20 would be 2006. Which I have another MacBook Pro from then, although not the 17-inch ones. They didn't make 17-inch MacBook Pros in 2006. This is actually the first 17-inch MacBook Pro ever made. Not this particular device, but this model. And the weird thing is they had 17-inch PowerBook G4s well before this. So I took them this long to make a MacBook Pro that's 17-inch. No idea. Perhaps they just wanted to make sure they got it right. And that does not look right. That probably looks worse. Yes, that looks worse. Okay, that's... No, that... Yeah, that's gotta be better. Yeah, that probably looks as normal as it's going to. Oh! Okay. That was very quick. Like, that was unusually quick. Okay, let's... Come on. I thought I clicked that, but... Alright. Well, at 1:30, I'm going to call it quits. Okay. So hopefully this machine is now starting. Oh, man, I really want to clean this damn... Man, it's just so dusty. Okay. Nothing's on this, by the way. It's just, I'm just kind of wiping it. What the hell happened here? You guys might not be able to see that. But yeah, something's off with that. I gotta throw this napkin out. Be right back. Oh, there's the loading bar. It's definitely 10.11. I believe they added the loading bar in Yosemite, which is 10.10, which is also when they got rid of most of the aqua look from 10.9, except for the fact that Yosemite still had the old gummy-looking monologue, the old gummy-looking pinwheel of death. But in this version, they changed it to the modern looking one that I think is still there today. And this is not quick. I feel like this is going to be painfully slow. So, yeah. Both this MacBook Pro and the other 17-inch MacBook Pro that I have, the one that I had before this, the one that the speakers are blown on, and the one that the Apple logo is kind of screwed upon. Both of these will feature on the channel Mellow Core, which is where all my good videos are going to be, and where my good videos are right now, actually. Yeah. I might do, like, small GPU reviews on that channel as well, like the one here, which is a Radeon RX 580. But I don't really know yet. I'm kind of just getting started. But there will definitely be a video on every single computer I own, except maybe for that one, even though I kind of want to, because it just has a lot of USB ports, just a lot of I/O in general, and I'm not very used to seeing that on compact machines. And I can do stuff like this, which is idiocy, is run an internal GPU that requires external power with an external power supply on the frickin' outside of the machine with a PCIe extender. Yeah. That's kind of nonsense, and I kind of want to make a video for that, but I think it would be a mess, so I wouldn't really be able to go on that channel, but I think I'll try eventually. But writing scripts is slow, and right now I'm actually writing the script for this, or for these 17-inch 2007 MacBook Pro machines, and well, this is actually part of my testing and footage gathering, so you might actually see this part of this footage in those videos as I'm explaining stuff, explaining annoyances. Because a lot of what makes machines like this interesting are not the fact that they were legendary machines, even though they kind of were, and that's why I'm making videos about them, but because of their flaws. Like the, I haven't even written in the script yet how this, oh, installing, good. I haven't even written in the script how the DVD drives on these always seem to have problems. Like the one on This machine, this is faring a bit better, but you can still see it's bowing inward, or bowing down a little bit. And that's because, you know, if the drive's right here, and it's not being, you know, supported very well, like there's just plastic here, and, you know, a thin sheet of aluminum, which is a fairly soft metal, it's gonna bow in because as you're typing, your hands are here. Your palm is always going to be stressing on this sheet of metal. And I cannot believe Apple sold machines like that. Like, what? How did they not notice that that was going to happen? Like, I think maybe this plastic ring that's here was a pathetic attempt to try and resolve that or make it less noticeable, less of a problem. But it's an even bigger problem on the 15-inch MacBook Pros. Oh, by the way, this is before the 13-inch machines ever came out. So all of the drives were on the front of the machine. And that made them susceptible to this bowing downwards, you not being able to insert a disk, or not being able to get a disk out for you to grab onto to take it out of the machine. And that is a giant problem. That's a design defect. And, well, this is one of the machines that has it, but it has not had the defect behavior quite yet. This one's starting, though. But after they switched to an aluminum, the unibody aluminum enclosure, that stopped happening because, well, the metal was just too thick for that to happen, and the drives were always on the side of the computer instead of the front. So, and even if you did reef on it over here where the disk is now, it wouldn't bow because the metal is just too thick. So, yeah, these were the early days of the MacBook in all of their glory and slowness and cookageness. Yeah, this is really hot. Like, you would not want to use that on your lap. And even if you wanted to, you probably shouldn't even put this on your bedding or on your blanket, because then it's just going to cook itself even more. But again, if anyone knows if that was even a problem when these were new, from like 2007 to 2010, when these were, actually good machines to use on the daily, was that even a problem, or is this a modern issue with these being old and the thermals being just poor because they're old and heat destroys things? So it probably destroyed the thermal paste, made it ineffective, which is why I had to change the thermal paste on that. And as soon as I did that, the fan stopped screaming and the problem went away. So maybe I need to do that for these. I think this actually has an interchangeable CPU. But I got nothing to replace it with. All I have is, well, this one. I think these have the same CPU as the 2007 iMac that I also have. So, yeah. This is going to take a while. And, yeah. Another thing about this machine, this is going to be rambling before I go to bed. It's 1:16 in the morning. These machines, both of these have the same GPU. And it's not a good one. It was okay probably when these came out, but it was like, for a 17-inch machine, for a machine this size and for this price, there were definitely better graphics they could have put in here, and I guess they didn't, maybe because of power constraints or something. Hell if I know. This only has, and would ever only have, the NVIDIA the GeForce 8600M GT with 256 megs of GDDR3, and that's dreadful nowadays, and it probably wasn't great back then either. I think I've confirmed that it can barely run Portal. Although, actually, I don't remember actually starting Portal on here successfully. And by the way, on here, I meant on here. I remember trying, and then it just, nothing worked. I just tried for the entire day, made a video of it, and just, it all went to hell. Not Windows or Mac could run Portal. But I think I found a way, so maybe I'll make a follow-up to that if people want it. I'll probably just make it anyway. Screw what people want. So, yeah. But some Macs did come with the highest end GPUs available. For example, the iMac, there was a 17-inch iMac in 2013 that you could 27-inch iMac in 2013 that you could upgrade to a GTX 780M. Yeah, that's a laptop GPU, but it's also the best laptop GPU at the time. And that was great, and that paired really well with the 1440p display. But and in the Mac Pros, you could sometimes get NVIDIA graphics, but when you couldn't, there were like mid-range AMD graphics that weren't too great, but actually were pretty good for the time. But like better stuff was definitely on the table, and they never had the highest end AMD stuff. And let's see, in like 2007, maybe 2008, you could get a Mac Pro configured to have from Apple an NVIDIA GeForce 8800 GT, which was, I think, close to their highest end desktop GPU at the time. So that was cool. Or I think you could also get like a Radeon HD, or an ATI, not AMD, because this was before they bought them, an ATI Radeon HD 4870 GPU, which, again, was not their highest end at all, but was kind of between the mid and the high end. So, yeah, but that 8800, that probably was a very good card. And that could actually probably run stuff today. Not very much stuff, but you could probably run, use Doom on it if the software was compliant. You could definitely run Portal maxed out on that, I'm sure. But yeah. But the laptops, they seem to get the short end of the stick. I think the best graphics the highest end graphics for the year that the MacBooks ever got were the ATI Radeon HD 6770M that was in the 17-inch 2011, late 2011 MacBook Pros. I actually have one of those, and it works perfectly. It's actually one of the best functioning machines that I own. It's just amazing, and that pairs pretty well with the 1920 by 1200 resolution display. Oh, and the quad-core CPU. I think the next best graphics for the year that they came with was in 20... No, not 2015. There was definitely better stuff. They were stuck with AMD for just far too long. And AMD just didn't have as good stuff. But AMD really struck gold with the 6770. And that was probably the best GPU for the year that they had in a laptop in Apple's entire line of MacBooks. I'm not sure about the PowerBooks or the iBooks because, well, I don't have any of them. I used to have a PowerBook G4, and I used to play Tekken Classic on it, and that was 2 years older than this, being made in 2005, and it was, I think, the best PowerBook G4 15-inch that was available in 2005. And I had that in like 2014, 2015, and I did play Minecraft mod packs on it, like Tekken Classic, which is from 2012. And it ran very poorly, 20 FPS maximum, and the frame times were awful. It looked like 10 FPS and functionally was 10 FPS, but I played it, and I lagged it to hell with crystal chests and stuff. If you guys know what that is, then, well, props to you. You're a real one, but it was a... I actually got it from my chiropractor, which is a story in itself. I was a weird kid, which I kind of still am, even though I'm going to be 23 in, well, a couple hours. But anyway, that's the only G4 machine, or the only PowerBook or iBook that I've ever had. And I want to get more. I can't, I have a struggle finding them and finding the capital available to purchase them, and get them here. I'm in the US. I'm also in Silicon Valley, so they should be like thick on the ground or something somewhere, but I just can't goddamn find them for any kind of decent price or in any kind of working order. So the oldest I've pretty much been able to go to get machines working is this far, 2007. Anything, ow, that actually really hurt for some reason. God damn. Anything older than 2007 has crippling problems. Dying hard drives, very easily blown speakers, power problems, booting problems, just everything is just falling apart inside. And they're not exactly that easy to get apart. They were actually, these MacBooks and Macs became a lot easier to service during the unibody phase. Everything before that and after is a pain in the ass, comparatively. Even this, where you can basically take every part out of it and put it into another one, it's just, oh my god, it's just a pain in the ass. And I'll definitely show you guys the MacBook where I found this out the hard way, and the other MacBook where I first found it out the hard way, like a decade and a half ago. God damn, that was, no, sorry, like 11, 12 years ago. When I was in middle school, I tried to fix a 2007 white MacBook that my teacher had given me because it just didn't work. Had a bunch of broken keys, and one of the kids in the class, because I was in special ed, of course, I was in the autism program, and all of the, like, there was this one kid, he was the smallest kid in the class, and he would just, as soon as the computer wasn't working properly, because, you know, it was an old piece of crap at the time, even then, 2014, 2015, 2016, he would just start rolling his fingers under the keys and just destroying the machine. And it got so bad that I think he threw one on the floor, and I actually fixed that one because the MagSafe connector internally in the machine was like turned a certain way, like it was topsy-turvy or some crap. So I had to like somehow put it back in line so you could plug the thing back in, you know, start a fire. But that machine did end up working again. And he broke it the next day or something, I don't know. But one of those machines, because there were like 6 or 7 of them in the class, with all ranging specs for 2007. Well, one of them was beyond saving. It was dead. It was completely toast. So I took it home and I tried to fix it, and I think I even tried to live stream it, which probably failed. But that was when like live streaming was added to like the iPhone app for YouTube, and I was trying that out. And yeah, I just destroyed that thing. I ripped it apart. I couldn't even get it apart, actually. I took a couple of screws out, and then I tried to I stripped like two of them. And how the machine is built, it's just really hard to get it apart. Like, you have to bend and like shear metal off of itself to get the damn keyboard out. So, or to get the top plate off, which you need to do to service the machine. And that was just a huge pain in the ass. So naturally, I completely destroyed it, and it never booted again. I've tried repeatedly over the years to try to get it to boot, but something is wrong with it that you can't fix by just replacing the hard drive or replacing the RAM or replacing the thermal paste. Like, I think the display, something to do with the display is dead. Because the CPU heats up, which means it's getting power. The GPU heats up, which means it's getting power. But nothing else happens. There's no bong. The disk does have activity, though. It has power and activity. But nothing else. It's just dead. Like, it, oh no, well, its heart's still beating. Its brain's still, active, but it can't tell me anything. So, it's beyond my saving, unfortunately. If someone wants to tell me why that might be, then be my guest. If anyone even sat through this. This has been read from, whatever this channel's called, Mepper. Yeah. We'll see in a couple days if this is done. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next Mepper project.